Here you can see some of the component parts which have been stripped of the paint, and I found a fantastic product to strip the paint off these parts without damaging them, thanks to a gentleman on YouTube, Relight Lamps, who suggested the use of Dettol. And that's been great. As you can see, I was going to use nitromors, but apparently that can damage some of the aluminium parts, and the Dettol has actually been infinitely better than nitromors. It just took the paint off really easily, and it's set to work almost immediately. So thank you, Relight Lamps, because I would never in a million years have guessed that Dettol was an effective paint stripper. So these have all come up really nicely, the arms, and you can see the little end bits there where paint is the most likely to accumulate. It's all free of paint. Brilliant stuff. That's where paint usually gets trapped. I think if I was using any other paint stripper, I would have had much more labour and time and effort to spend on them, but the Dettol has just stripped them clean. Brilliant. So onto the base. That was the rusty old base. You can see now the extent of the corrosion. It's not too bad really, but that part I showed earlier that you could feel with running your finger over it is now nice and smooth. So what I've done is I've got some Scotch Brite there, which I used first of all, and then I used some emery cloth, some fine emery cloth, and that's, what's that, 180 I think grade, but it's a fine grade because the risk with coarse grades is that it will leave scratches in the steel, which you want to avoid, and even that has put a few scratches in, but they are fine scratches. But importantly, it has got rid of this the high spots on this corrosion, and that was the worst area. You can see some there still, and I can feel it. So I'll be happy when that is totally smooth like this. And just to finish that off, ready for its first coat of primer, I'm going to be using this pre-used piece of wet or dry. I'll be using it wet, and that is 2800 grit, just to try and remove some of those lines left by the emery paper. So it won't press too hard with the emery paper, just lightly rub it like so. Spend a little time going round, dressing this and making it ready for paint.